Hey folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I am your narrator, Dustin House, spreading that good word about affiliate marketing. You're going to find me here every Thursday at noon Pacific time. Put it on the calendar. Stop by and hang out with me and a guest. My guest today, Amy Aitman, COO over at Venture Forth Media. Welcome to the Nerdatorium, Amy.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm so excited. This is going to be fun.
Great. You and I go way back, all the way to Affiliate Summit 2025 last month, and had a meeting with you. I've got my client Rolodex, and you and I've met in the past, but never even made that connection. And then we sat down together for half an hour and had a great conversation. And you've got this great energy about you and warm and somebody that I want to work with, which is very pleasant to have in this industry. So
Wow.
glad you jumped in to jump on with the Nerdatorium today.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. And Affiliate Summit West was such a fun event. It was like Vegas, and everybody came with great energy to work and do things, and to get a pulse on what's happening in the affiliate space was so much fun for me. And yeah, it was great. So it was great meeting you too.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Did at Affiliate Summit, did you go to many sessions? I know you're speaking, but did you go to many sessions or we focused on relationship building and meetings?
I was focused mostly on relationship building, but I did go to a couple sessions. I have all the recordings, so I will watch a few as well. But yeah, it was like packed days,
Yes.
packed for sure. People come to meet and connect, so that was a really fun surprise.
Yes. That's how it's supposed to be done.
Mhm.
All right, Amy, tell us about who you are.
I'm happy. I am. I do a lot right now. Like I said, my title is COO of Venture Forth Media. I've been working with UN and our publications for this is like my 10th year
Okay.
working with on this. Before that, I've had my own media company. I've had some my own agency, content marketing agency. I started off as a freelance writer. I like to say I started off working online and freelancing because nobody would hire me. It feels like a long time ago now, but I still remember um, finishing up my university degree, and it was 2008 is when I graduated. So if you know anything about the state of the economy in 2008, similar to what we're going through right now for a lot of people, and it was just nobody. I literally couldn't get a job. I went into my old place where I waitressed for 6 years, and they wouldn't hire me, and I was at, like, low point. I was like, "What am I gonna do with my life?" And my husband was actually the one that said, "Just get one person to pay you to do something, some kind of writing, some kind of editing, something." And that's how I started, and then a few years later, I met Ewan. I started a mom blog when I had my son. And once you start making money online, becomes really addictive and it becomes really fun. And built a great community of a lot of friends in the industry now. And yeah, it's been really great journey for sure.
Amazing. I had something similar. I graduated in 2008, but I immediately moved to Vegas and played poker for a living for a year. And then I went dead broke and I was in that space of, all right, I need to get a job. Where am I going to go? And I couldn't even get a job as a poker dealer anymore because the economy was such a bad place. And
Mm.
it took me a long time of grinding out bad paychecks until I got my first job at CJ in the affiliate industry. And it sounds like we had a kind of a similar episode with the industry, but here we are 15 years later in the space
Mhm.
and thriving. So it's a great backstory. Tell us about Venture Forward Media, what you guys do and who you're serving out there.
Okay, we're publishers. We built over 150 websites from scratch. I'd say our specialty for a long time was building sites brand new. A lot of times we went into niches that we didn't see there was any great publications, or we went nichier. We went more, instead of just doing like a home improvement site, we tried to do something like porches, or we tried, that was really what we did. We started building sites in trenches, and we got some investor funding to build some sites. We did a group of 26 websites at one point,
Wow.
32 websites. And so my role is the operations, the editorial side of it, getting hiring the content teams, hiring all the writers, building out the our content management systems, everything from, yeah, editorial. Editorial has been such a wild journey
Okay.
in the last 3 years because the quality that you need to stand out has really shifted. The goalpost has really changed. And so for our editorial teams having to push them to do better quality, that was a big part of what I've done. So we're foremost publishers. We publish content. I like to say we have the best writing and editorial teams out there. Our writers are real people, they're real nerds. It's a huge joy for me finding someone that nerds out about something that I know nothing about. And you ask them about it and they take that deep breath, then they're like, if you get the nerdiest things, I love that. All of our writers are freelance and contracts. So we have people that are like in HR right now or in project management. They do that job during the day and at night, weekends, whenever we can get them to help us out, they work with us. Or we had a lot of like video game sites and these gaming writers literally would play games for a weekend straight when a new game came out, 36, 40 hour just to write a review and then some guide. So
Oh my
I
God.
feel like, yeah,
Gotcha. Uh,
dedication sometimes. I'm amazed at what our writers have done and how I don't know, shared their life with us. We have a Love You Tomorrow site, a wedding site. And the pictures are all from our writers on the site. They've shared their wedding photos and
cute. Yeah, that's organic. And unfortunately, like you guys got hit just as hard as anybody on the Google apocalypse over the last year.
oh, yeah.
I don't know what you call it in your terms.
It goes on the day. It depends on the days. Obviously, for years, we've been publishing and dealing with Google updates. And when
Okay.
you have a portfolio, I'd say at any given time, about 80, 90 websites that we care about. And sometimes half of them, or sometimes 10 of them go down and then 10 of them go up. So we've always been able to shift our resources to the sites that are doing well. And it worked well for a
Yeah.
long time. And we would learn from things. So every time we did another portfolio or create another site, we'd see success really quickly. So this is before we're talking pre-helpful content update, the Google apocalypse, as publishers say. Can call it. I almost don't even want to call it the helpful content update, but yeah, like we rode the Google roller coaster. It was fun. We would build on sites that were doing well and we would let sites that weren't doing well sit, or we'd optimize and do all those things. But I think, yeah, the helpful content update, and I'm sure many people in your audience know what I'm talking about, was a huge shift. And I remember when it happened, I actually was in Vegas at a digital entrepreneur event and got to sit down with Ewan, which we've been working together for 10 years and we've only been in person, hung out in person twice. So
What?
HCU have been hanging out with Ewan, talking with my other fellow publishers. We have our laptops. We're all looking at our Google Analytics and like, what is going on here? It felt different really quickly. And my first instinct was just to wait. The first month, we saw it felt different, but also things can change really quickly. Sometimes Google will do something and then your site will start to go up. So we didn't panic. The first month, I'd say month or two, we kept publishing, we kept doing what we do and try not to panic. But it didn't take long for us to realize this was something publisher wide. A lot of people that had content websites were feeling it wasn't. And the content sites that I used as like these like great examples of EAT. So like experience, authenticity, people trust them, content sites that I would know by brands were getting hits. Yeah, it was pretty painful.
Luckily, you had a portfolio so big, and it sounds like you've got a well-oiled machine to be able to consist. Excuse me. To be consistently updating content and creating new ones for that many sites. And I'm sure sites come and go, and you guys have a good flow. Like video games seem to be really consistent, especially through the pandemic era. Those probably really thrive.
They did.
We just got a client over at Inflection Backbone.com, which I need to talk to you about it. It was on the agenda, but I forgot you were in that video game section. Anyway, with those niches, like I assume some come and go, like sites on like masks, for example, you probably spun up a site about masks or remote working that were thriving for a couple of years and then just tanked all of a sudden because the traffic volume was gone away,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I would say the two interesting examples I have for COVID was great for our business. I was
Okay.
never, we have never busier. It was fun. We built a site, we built a whiskey site and we built a wine site. And I think you could see how COVID was, the alcoholic choices were
Sure.
changing during COVID. So like
Yeah.
our wine site was doing really well and growing. And all of a sudden the whiskey site started to do really well, like after a few months into COVID. And those sites just naturally had a dip after COVID because people just changed, and that's natural too. Yeah, to publishing, we expect all those kind of changes and updates. And I was really optimistic during COVID that our online shopping habits would stay online because I personally love buying my products online.
Yeah.
I personally hate going to the mall. I hate shopping in real life. If I could get every single thing delivered to my house, I probably would. And I thought everybody else would feel the same way, but as we've seen, people, it didn't stay. It didn't
Yeah.
just
Which is weird to me too, because I buy 95% of my things online. The only thing is I don't do is shoes and pants, essentially. Everything else, I don't need to try on and I can just ship it back. It's too easy, too convenient to be shopping online. Speaking of like changes, everybody's strategy has to change every time Google
Mhm.
does an update. What are those things that you guys have been doing that are working right now in 2025?
So after the helpful content update, it was like a dark day. I had to lay off like entire writing teams,
Yeah.
like hundreds of people. We're not published. We're not. We did a wait and see approach where I know like some of my publisher friends made a lot of updates, just kept publishing. We were like, okay, let's get our operational cost at a minimum
Okay.
because we don't know how to approach this. And we had to take a step back and try to figure out what was next. On my end, I looked into a lot of email marketing, list building. It's really hard to build a list when you don't have traffic. That was really tough. For many years, we've done Pinterest as a traffic driver, and we still get traffic from Pinterest that we built years and years ago. So all of my publisher friends were in the space of like, what's the traffic arbitrage? Like we need to get traffic. And if it's not coming from Google, where is it coming from? And so one of the things we dug into was Reddit, because we're seeing now and still now the growth of Reddit, how many forums and how much UGC is in the SERPs these days. But how do you even get into Reddit? Like, how do you even start to engage in Reddit or use Reddit as a traffic arbitrage? So that was one area that we really dug into. And it's been really fun. It's been challenging, but it's really helped. We get traffic from Reddit all the time because it's just so prevalent in search. So that was one area that we really decided to focus on. So much so we started a service, a business, where we're helping brands with their Reddit strategies. And it's really fun. We're also like help figuring out things for brands, figuring out new ways to build better subreddits, new ways to engage, everything Reddit. And we're it's like I feel like we have no choice. We have to learn this.
Yeah.
But in that journey with the service too, we've also seen the rise of video again. A video is really dominant in the SERPs. So we're doing a lot of video publishing now, which is really fun and really great. It's also a traffic arbitrage. I know that the traffic's coming to our YouTube channels, but we can send them back to the sites. There's a lot of ways to monetize YouTube channels. So that's been really fun. And then we're also looking at things like Quora as another. It's not depending on the searches, depending on the niche. I see Quora a lot. I see other forums. I see, like I said, YouTube and things like Medium. So distribution is really important. And we've really thought about that and how that works for our sites and created, yeah, a lot of distribution channels. And our focus really isn't on just Google either. Like we are killing it on Bing for some of our sites. So if that is the case, the traffic can be really worth it just from Bing, just from ChatGPT search. We're starting to see those show up in our Google Analytics, which is really exciting. So Google is losing market share. And even in Google, what's happening, it's so divided. There's still lots of opportunity, but how do you get take advantage of those opportunities is what we had to figure out. So,
Yeah, you brought up some really good points. The super smart strategy to be backlinking from things like Quora and Medium to your sites. There's plenty of sites out there that are free user generated content that you can naturally put in backlinks to your sites and your articles. It's super smart in that essence. And when you're working with the clients that you're working with, it sounds like you're paying a lot of money up front for to generate that content, and maybe you're just doing some kind of upfront fee to or hybrid model. How do you really work with the clients that you're working with?
it depends on the client goals. Like for a
Yeah.
Reddit strategy, if it's a brand reputation or brand management strategy, which is really important in Reddit because now brands are recognizing like a bad review on Reddit is surfacing to the top of Google now. So something that maybe posted 8 years ago, 10 years ago is now hurting their brands,
Okay.
which 2 years ago, that wasn't the case. It was all third-party publications and all of these discussions, the Reddit, the YouTube, all of anything that's published is that's what's informing AI overviews. So if you look up your brand all of a sudden and there's 3 bad reviews on Reddit, that's what's coming in the A overview. So it's really hurting brands, even if it's not true. So we do some of that. If we work with brands on that, we'll go in and we'll create conversations or add to conversations in Reddit so that it helps. And
Mm.
that's really fun to do that.
Almost like reputation management,
Yeah, and
then,
that
right?
like, those are fun. Those are always fun to do. On our publishing side, we still do brand partnerships where we work with brands that we love and we trust and that have great product. We have our real writers testing the products and editorial. And this is maybe because I'm a content person. Our editorial side is not the same as our monetization side. So our writers sometimes don't even know that this is a brand necessarily that we're working with. They are authentic, they test, they tell it like it is on our publications, which is really great. It's great for brands to have that. So we do that and yeah, we charge a flat fee to publish. And for all the publishers out there, I really want to encourage you, whether your sites are the top ranking sites in Google, if they're if it's great content, if they're real writers and these are publications, it's still valuable for these brands to get published on your site, whether they're ranking in Google or not.
Okay.
And that might surprise a lot of publishers and maybe a lot of brands, but our sites are informing AI overviews. And like I said, some of our sites are doing amazing on Bing and not even in the top 2 pages of Google.
Okay.
Well, the search landscape, it's diversifying, it's changing. And so I think brands that recognize that have to get in more than one type of partnership. So we do work with brands and I like to say I think our writers are amazing. I think they test the products in their real homes. They give real opinions. They're really like authentic. They, like I said, they share their lives. Some of the we've worked with a lot of brands, and and I think that is amazing. I think the real conversation. I think what Google wants to surface is that user generated content, those real people opinions. If you think about it, it's completely anti AI. The things that our writers do, AI can't do. AI can't test a product and tell you how it feels. It can tell you what other people have done, other people have said, done about the product, but it really can't do all the little things. And so I don't
Yeah.
think it can yet.
You can't feel the
Yeah.
question of the supplements that you're taking in. Okay.
Mhm. Or tell you the smell or the taste I think that's why video is doing so well as well, because I think people wanna see real people doing real things, and especially for the queries, those high commercial intent queries, like the comparisons, the reviews. those kind of things.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point there. The video is on the uprise in the industry altogether. And how are you guys coupling that with the brands that you're working with, along with the content? Is it like an absolute must with every piece of content that you guys create?
In a perfect world, a brand comes to us and we create content on our publications. We create videos to go along with the review and a comparison and a best of and maybe an instructional video and to put on our YouTube channels. And we do Reddit marketing for them. And we do some Quora and we do some Medium wherever we see opportunities in the SERPs because there are so many ways to get into the SERPs now that are, I think, in a perfect world, I wanna get them in all of it. I wanna work on all of it. So, yeah, video is really important. I think it's almost surprising me these days how easy it is to rank for videos again. And seeing even going back to videos that we did 2 or 3 years ago and searching, "Oh, I work with this brand. How's that video doing?" Oh, it's still ranking. Both videos on both channels are still ranking at the top. And that's really fun. It feels like in some ways old school SEO days when everything we created would be ranked.
And speaking of ranking, if you are a brand out there that is looking for publications that are ranking online, one tool you can use is Effie's Dash. Go check her
Nice.
out. You can find hundreds of niche partners that are ranking for keywords that you're looking for using our tool in just 5 minutes. So get started. Go to dustinhouse.com/AppyStash and sign up today. And
That's
as
great. We
we
think that's a great tool, and I think brands need to think like that and work with their fellow publishers.
Yes, agreed. Down with the Amazon. Anyway, cool tool call out time. What are you using right now that you're finding super effective in your world?
I would say this is gonna sound so obvious to so many people, but I'm really enjoying ChatGPT. I am as an operational nerd, I am a brain dump person, and I feel like that's one of my skill sets in life is that I can think things through and I brain dump. And I used to have to take my brain dumps and organize it into something workable that time it saves me. I can create a spreadsheet easier. I can operationally ChatGPT is my jam.
Great call out. I'm using it every day for ideation purposes and like sometimes filler content for outlines of, and then I get my ideas out for the content that I'm creating. And I really love the query. Somebody told me, as my AI coach, Jonathan Green, he told me, let's ask them what you need to ask them to get the answers that you need. And that
Oh,
was
I love that. I love that. Yeah. For straight up content creation, I don't think AI cuts it. I don't think I would never publish something that was AI generated. One, there's no mo. If I can do it in 5 minutes, everybody can do it in 5 minutes. It's no value. You're not bringing anything to the table. But for operations, yeah. And it is fun to see what else. And I also ask it what I'm going to make for dinner. So we could go find the recipe on a recipe site, but you're right. You're brainstorming, "What do I wanna eat tonight?" Yeah.
that's smart. I've never used it in rock capacity. That's funny. All right. What
"What do
about
I have in my fridge, and then what can we make?"
that's good. What about tools that you want to see built in this industry? What are we missing? And what if you may wave that magic wand? What tool would you build right now?
Oh, this is a really tough one because when we were publishing, like, at one point, 1,200 articles a month, we built our own content management system because there there was so many things we wanted to do. We wanted to publish and have a core hub. We wanted to publish on many sites. We wanted to keep our payments all in there. And so, like, that tool at that time, I didn't see anything. And now since then, I've seen there's some really great headless SEO options. There's a lot of things like that. I would say these days, the flexibility of tools is really important to me because workflows change so much. So for our workflows, we're using Airtable just because I can change a workflow in a dime. We want to start publishing on Medium and we want to have a Medium workflow. I can do that. So a tool that would do that. And I think the distribution of content is something that I am really fascinated by. I'm looking into some tools for that. So if people are thinking about that, that would be really interesting. I know there are some out there, but I feel like the customization and changing the workflows on a dime is really important. Of
I think
course, doing narrative too. So
now that you say that, I think it would be super helpful to build one piece of content with a 2,000, 3,000 word article with a video and then say, hey, go make this into a LinkedIn post, a Medium post, a Quora question that you can answer, and all these other things like instantly. If you can just reword what we've already created here, that would be super helpful. I would buy that tool.
with brand, like with the brand voice and with the brand tone and with data behind it as well, would be really interesting too. I know there's tools that kind of do that, and I've tested out a few like social media AI tools, also like video, because I really would love to get to where I mean, our writers do the video and they do some of their own editing,
Yeah.
but something that makes it easier to pull in video and doesn't feel like AI. So you want the ease of AI stuff, but you don't want it to be like it's been AI. And you don't want it to be, I don't want to publish a bunch of AI video. So something that helps make it easier for our authentic creators to edit and publish videos in a way that's not doesn't feel like AI. That would be really interesting too. That's like a really simple user.
Good call. Yeah, I love what Descript's doing, and that's what I use for my editing. It's really affordable at $35 a month for a small creator like myself, and it is making leaps and bounds in this industry on like helpful workflow.
Yeah, I look into that. I'm looking into that tool for sure. Yeah, and a few more too.
Lastly, optimizing your talents. Like you've come through this industry as a publisher. What can you help any advice you can give folks out there that might be trying to figure out their path on you were a content writer, you figured it out and you went down this path. What do you suggest for people that are writers like getting into this arena?
Oh, I mean, this is such a fun question because I really love the idea of being in your zone of genius.
Okay.
And I talk about that with my team. And for years, I got to build a team where it was a choose your own adventure. It is still is. Because if they're really creative and they really are a great editor and they want to edit, I've got editing work. If they're
Okay.
really great on video, if they're really funny and entertaining and they want to do, I've got video work. And I feel like being in your zone of genius is such a privilege. It's amazing. And I really do believe that. And this summer I did a side gig where I was literally a technical project manager, which is fun. It was a fun thing to work with. It was very different for me. And I realized quickly that I was not in my zone of genius and not because I wasn't good at it. So I think people, when you're in this industry, sometimes we think if we're good at something, that's our zone of genius. And I think it goes way beyond being good at it. I'm a very good project manager. I still manage projects all the time, but for me, being able to be creative, work with creatives, that's really what lights me up and gets me
Yeah.
excited to come in to the office. And to be frank, that's what keeps me. I work weekends, I work nights, and I don't feel like that's a drudgery because it is. I feel it's really fun. It's really great to see people, to meet other nerds, to work with creatives, and so that's where I think living in your zone of genius really matters. And so for anyone out there, and if you're a writer, you can do so many things. If you're a writer, you're a thinker. Writing is thinking. To this day, if I want to think through something, I start writing about it because it helps you process, it helps you think through something. And so if you can think and you can write and you can communicate, there's so many avenues that you can do in our industry. And I'm seeing a lot of opportunities right now for people. I know the freelance world's been hit. I know our publishing world's been hit. I know it's been a really tough time, but I've hired a lot of people back this year. I'm still looking for people. I'm still looking for great talent. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities too.
Great tips. Love it. Lastly, how do we connect with you, Amy?
Oh, well, I'm on LinkedIn. You can connect with me there. If you want to check out our Reddit marketing, it's redvisible.com. And yeah, and I'm pretty accessible on LinkedIn. So reach out to me anytime. Happy to have a chat. Happy to talk to other people in this industry as well. I have a deep love for this world, for publishing, for the affiliate space. It's given me a livelihood. I really am so thrilled to be here. So if anyone wants to chat, just hit me up on LinkedIn. More than happy
She's
to.
not lying. She's a chatter and she loved it. You're such a great nerd. Thanks for being such a great
Thank
guest.
you. Thank you
Uh,
so much. It's been so much fun.
appreciate you joining me. And for those folks listening, keep on recruiting. And we'll see you next time. Take care.